Now, I'm going to ask you guys, bottom line, based on your research, do you think this is incompetence, self-delusion, or deliberate deception by either Richey or TYT in terms of what's going on now?
Okay, first of all, I think that Rashad, and I'm not a psychologist, I haven't examined him, but he seems to lie so much that I'm kind of wondering if that isn't some sort of mental quirk. There is a point where, the lies flow from him, through him, just something crazy. So I don't know what his motivations are. He has delusions of grandeur, and you can see that all over the place. I mean, he really does fashion himself as Albert Einstein and Albert Schweitzer. Remember, he supposedly cured Alzheimer's. I don't know if you knew about that.
Yes,
but he supposedly has cured Alzheimer's, and it's proven it with a demonstration of one sample size on some lady. And really, that clinical study that he conducted should land him in some serious trouble, because you just cannot do that.
She said, "I remember something."
He's saying that, well, it was okay to run the experiment because it was just light and sound, so it wasn't going to hurt the person. Well, if it's not going to hurt the person, then how do you have any effect? How could it cure the person, right? I mean, it's got to have some sort of impact on the person, but you can't do that. You can't decide on your own that you're going to perform clinical studies on human subjects like that. It's really well controlled, and he did it. And I have another video on that. I DM'd you, but we don't have time for it. But yeah, he's claiming that he's cured a patient of Alzheimer's disease, and he's supposedly patented the device. And you have to see this device to believe it. It's just amazing.
So I did not know that. I'm sorry. How did he just skip the IRB and just go, well, whatever. I don't like. This has to be. He has to be a mental case. I'm sorry.
That device. It's got these push pins on it. He's changed it a couple times. It's a joke, really. You should go to his Vimeo account. That's where he's got these videos. And I mean, for any scientist, they are just so laughable, really. But I think you've kind of mentioned a really important point in this, is that these Black people are being put in universities at sort of at a rate that is not proportionate to their interest in going to university. Yes. Like Harvard will have 14% Black people, and they're so proud because that is, representative of the population. And then you have these people failing out, because they do fail out at a much higher rate out of university, because they're put in a place maybe that's not ideal for them. And for these individuals that are, being accepted into the universities where they can't really keep up with the work, that's not to their benefit, really. And in general in society, you can have populations that have different interests and different strengths, and there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to shoehorn people into administrative roles that they're not really they're not good at. Like, you can just have populations that have different strengths, and that's okay.
Well, let's say, for instance, the NBA, right? 80% of the NBA happens to be African American or Black, right? Mm-hmm. But let's say they just decided, we're going to make the NBA representative of the population. Right? So you have an X amount of Asians, X amount of white, it's got to be 60% white, 13% Black. That would be a disaster, right? You'd be like, what the hell is this, the NBA, right? Because it's based purely on merit, right? So I think that's the point that people, they don't want to just say, right? It's just that these people aren't interested in that. And until you make them interested at the ground level, then that's what. But the last question I wanted to make sure to ask you guys is, if Richey were sitting right here in front of you right now, what would be the one thing you would like to ask him? I'm going to start with you, fake PhD. What would you ask him if he was sitting in front of you right now?
That's a very good question. There are so many things to go through, and you wouldn't get a straight answer from him. He wouldn't be able to answer. He would deflect in the style that he does in his bullpen on Indisputable, right? He would just deflect. He can't answer questions like that. What would I ask him? I think I would ask him, we could just, ask him very pointed questions, like, I think about his religious degrees, right? So things that he can't answer, or a specific physics question that he's gonna barricade around. But I actually have a question for you as well. Nate. So Rashad Richey's lawyer, Stacy, what's her name? And she is a Georgia state representative, right?
Yeah.
What are the implications for her? For her to get involved with lawsuits that Rashad Richey wants to file against people with her kind of high public profile.
Well, I'm gonna tell you straight up how I feel. He is not going to sue anyone unless and I think based on to sue under this particular thing, you have to kind of just make it up, right? Because he's definitely a public figure, right? I can just show the channel. He's got over 1 million subscribers. He is a public figure for sure, right? So now you have to have actual malice. And actual malice means you got no reason to really think that this is true. You're making it up. But here we got him giving us fake documents. We got this, we have all of this lined up. So at the end of the day, this lawyer is trying to essentially have scare tactics, right? They can say, for instance, they can call you guys up and say, hey, we're going to sue you for this, blah, 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 right? And everybody's scared. Oh, my God, lawsuit. Like Ken James was like, oh, my God, lawsuit. I put my video out there and say, bring it on. I love the lawsuit. There's going to be more content for the channel. And I can write the paperwork myself because I am legit, right? And then it's crazy because I got all these lawyers who are begging me to take the lawsuit if he does file for free. So it's like a win-win. And just like with Johnny Walker, right? Me and Johnny have been talking. If he had an issue, we would I'll help him take care of that issue. If you have an issue, I'm even saying I'll help you take care of the issue. Because this is a non-starter. It would be such a mistake because at a point I would be like, well, maybe we should just go to discovery. If he does do it, maybe we should go to discovery and see and make him produce this stuff. And that would be a hell of a risk because then we get to put all that stuff out. Well, here it is. Here's the communication. Here's where we get this. So yeah,
he's not going to do it.
If he does, I would be shocked, totally shocked. And I would be happy because I'd be like, we now got some real content to make. We're going to make some money on this. Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great. So yeah, that's what I think about his lawyer and his lawsuit. Matter of fact, if they don't keep their mouth shut, I know the reason why they deleted the lawsuit page.
Ooh.
And there are not only ethical violations, but there are some other violations with. Well, I'll just say this: in certain jurisdictions, if you're not a licensed attorney or even have gone to law school, you cannot run a law firm.
Really?
In some states, it's called practicing without a license. But, so I understand why you got to take some of that stuff down. But there is some criminal liability here that can be ferried out. So if he wants to go that route, he can go that route. But you're talking about representing people in different jurisdictions, having your name on his law firm. In each state that you've been to, what about
a lot of charges?
Why do you think the other person took their name off that site, right? There's a lot of different things going on. And again, people, you don't have to trust me. Go to your chat bot, go to Google, and Google can a non-attorney lead a law firm or own a law firm. And they'll see they can do it as a non-managing partner or somebody who's just an equity partner. You just give money. But you can't be the face. It can't be the Nate and Mims firm because he is not a lawyer. His name can't be on Mims and Nate. That's not going to work.
Didn't pass the bar.
So they know that, and I can see kind of how things are flowing out. So, in terms of lawsuit, if he sues, it would be worse for him than for any of us. But now, John,
I think the bigger problem he would have beyond the legal thing would be the FDA, because performing clinical studies on human subjects without approval from an IRB, that's serious stuff. And he actually published this in a predatory journal, of course, but he's making a claim that he did it. And keep in mind also, in that study, in that paper, he said that they informed this patient that she would no longer have to undergo somebody else's experimental trials because she was doing so well in theirs. You're actually given a medical advice without a degree. You cannot tell somebody or advise them to discontinue your treatments from someone else unless you're a medical doctor. And he did.
Look, there's somebody in the comments right now. What is IRB? Trying to search it desperately to understand. You cannot do it. Just for y'all out there. if you're trying to do any medical anything experimental with humans or almost anything living, you need to have an IRB verify that. There's institutions that hire them specifically for that purpose. And Richie clearly didn't do any of that because he's not educated enough to know about that. That's just the truth. But like that can really land you some jail time, some serious jail time. But there's actually two questions that I would have for him. Actually, one, why does he look like a T-move Steve Harvey? And two, how does he calculate the area under the curve? I mean, because if he has these advanced physics degree, he should be able to easily how to calculate area under the curve. So, I'm just curious, how do you do it, Richie?
Well, Johnny, what's your answer to the question? If he was sitting right here and you got a chance to ask him the question, what would it be?
Where is magnetic north? In his master's thesis, geophysics, he claimed that magnetic north and true north were aligned.
What? Everybody knows that's not true.
Yep.
It's over
absolutely.
Siberia. Oh my
Anybody
God.
who's a pilot knows you can't get to the North Pole by flying with their compass.
Yeah. I use the North
And so,
Pole.
yeah, that would be my question for him.
Oh my God. Well, listen, guys, thank you. And please, we definitely got to do this again because I know there's a lot more going on. He's got a lot more stuff happening. And we are definitely going to try to continue to follow this story.
Yeah.
Because it's funny because I kind of feel bad for Richie because I understand he's trying to fake it till he makes it. But at a point, you got to be held accountable for your faking, right? Yeah, he's not. Well, he's making it. He's got over 1 million subscribers. But at a point, when is this not just fraud? Right? When is this not just pure deception?
There's no way he can walk this back. There's no way he can. If he says, you know what? Okay, yeah, I did get this degree from this diploma mill. So what? Because that brings in the question. If he concedes an inch, people will question him for miles, and he can't do it.
But
it's too far in.
Tell you what, it gets a little bit deeper though. On his true EDD dissertation, he lists 2 diploma mills at the top. So he may have gotten into Clark Atlanta by claiming unaccredited degrees. Okay, so yeah, discovery, that would be really brutal on him.
Oh yeah. He's killed for discovery. Matter of fact, the fact that we're talking about it is going to kill him. But it is what it is. Well, first, I want to two things. If you guys can, I'm going to put you guys in both the description of the video and in the description so people can find you. Let's start with you, Fake PhD. Tell people where they can find you. And if you can, send me a DM with all your information where people can find you. So I'm going to put it all in the link in the description so people can find you. But let the people know where they can find you.
I'm on Twitter as Fake PhD Investigator, and I have a Substack with just a number of articles about people who have faked their degrees. So also it's called Fake PhD Investigations.
Vladimir Putin, right, is on that list. I thought I saw Putin on that list.
Right. Yeah, he's got a fake one too, but he's made it. So he's faked it until he made it.
He's made it now. Oh man, well, I'm done with the Russians after me. Thank you, comrade. Thank you. I still believe in the Ukraine war. You got it. What about you, Johnny?
Well, I host the Johnny Walker Dread Show on YouTube. I have a Twitter handle, but I can't remember what it was. I don't really do a lot on Twitter. I have like 200 followers or something like that. But yeah, if you're interested in Kyle Rittenhouse, Sovereign Citizens, I did a lot of those. I was one of the first ones to come out with those. And of course, Rashad Richey and race hustlers like Richard Taylor and Dr. Umar. I did his dissertation, by the way. It's garbage. If you're interested in those things, go to the Johnny Walker Dread Show.
Johnny Walker Dread Show. So please, again, I'll just link you guys in both the description. Please, guys, go check out their stuff. It is great. And again, if you guys like a lot of the information I got from the Rashad Richey stuff, these are the 2 gentlemen who found that information. And as you guys know, I had to go verify behind them, and it was all on point. Now, I can't say for everything because I've done that before. Like, this is one thing. But I can say everything that I've checked has been 100% on point, but you guys got to do your own research. Yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Fake PhD. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.